TF Wire presents War Stories, a fan fiction podcast.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of TF Wire's War Stories, episode 15. I'm your host, Steve/Megatron. Today I'll be reading a story by Opticron Primal. The story is called The Final Entry, The Last Report of Bumblebee.
Autobot log 114539. Codename Bumblebee. Reporting for what could be the last time.
The little Autobot was huddled in a small opening between chunks of what used to be the wall that circled the capital of Iacon. After the Autobots were driven back to the now Decepticon-controlled Cybertron, after Megatron led a gigantic invasion against the Autobots and Earth. After being driven back to their former home, it wasn't long until the Khans got the upper hand and reduced the Autobot army to nothing more than a small troop of lucky bots. Soon after that, only Bumblebee and the once proud Autobot leader, Optimus Prime, were left. All of this wasn't supposed to happen. We thought driving them away from Cybertron into an uninhibited planet would spare Cybertron from eons of destruction and war. But all we did was jeopardize ourselves and others. Bumblebee took a quick glance at what was happening around him. The skies were a dark, almost evil shade of red, with tiny embers fluttering gracefully by. The sounds of explosions and jet engines revving up filled the air.
It's amazing, actually, how one humble decision could send a universe into a death spiral.
He took one more glance to see his former commander fall to the ground in defeat. Apparently, Megatron found Prime and was able to beat him into the verge of stasis lock in a quick maneuver. Bumblebee watched what unfolded in horror.
I finally got you on your knees, Prime. Your fellow Autobots have all fallen, and now you will join them in the oblivion. Even if I die here, Megatron, there will be another to take up the mantle of Autobot leader. Spare me your wisdom and die!
With that, Megatron blasted Prime point blank through the chest, destroying Prime and the Matrix. Bumblebee was awestruck.
No, it can't end like this.
Megatron walked up to Prime's corpse, a look of triumph on his face.
Today is a glorious day for the Decepticons. The Autobots are no more.
Megatron walked off back to the remains of Iacon, a smirk on his face. With the coast clear, Bumblebee emerged from his hiding spot and walked over to Prime. His confidence dissipated. He saw no point to go on, until a small glint of light caught his optics. He looked closely at the hole in Prime's chest to see a ray of hope shining at him. The Matrix. Even a close-range blast from Megatron's fusion cannon couldn't destroy it.
Heh. Ever since I joined the Autobots, Optimus Prime's words have always become reality, one way or another. Even now, his last words have become a light in the darkness. I will make sure I will honor Prime's wish. His wish to bring this universe together as one. He picked up the Matrix, a look of newfound hope on his face. He started to walk off into the distance. The Autobots will never die completely, and I have been picked to make sure of it. This is Bumblebee, signing out, until all are one.
If you'd like to hear your fanfic read on a future episode of War Stories, please head on over to tfwire.com. Go to the War Stories forums, post it, and be sure to leave your permission for it to be read. And you just might hear it on a future episode of War Stories. As for now, this is Steve/Megatron, signing off.
The preceding story was not endorsed by Hasbro and is meant for entertainment purposes only. All fan fiction stories are copyrighted to their respective authors, and all fan fiction stories used within this podcast are used with permission from the author. This has been a TFWire.com production.